right, joining us now for our crypto and digital asset update is Catherine Murray, host of The Buck Stops Here. Take it away, Catherine.
Thanks, Nima. Hello, everyone, and welcome to your weekly crypto and digital asset update. I'm Catherine Murray. Well, we are seeing cryptocurrencies rally for once. We're seeing a real strong start to the year, really in large part driven by the risk-on mode that we're seeing in the broader North American equity markets, and in part driven by the belief that the U.S. Federal Reserve will not need to tighten quite as aggressively or as fast or by as much. And that in part is driven by what we saw yesterday, the CPI print coming in line with expectations and continues to follow that lower trend, the downward trend as it relates to inflation. So that continued to move the markets higher, and also the cryptocurrencies really taking off quite significantly here. Bitcoin, in fact, hit 19,000. It has since perhaps pulled back a little bit, but has an 18 handle on it. We'll take it. And you're also seeing volume about 2 times the 30-day average for Bitcoin specifically. Some of the other coins are trading flat, but in general, you are seeing a bit of an upswing and uptick in the cryptocurrency world right now. In terms of some of the news that we continue to follow, of course, we're watching FTX's bankruptcy court proceedings. And apparently the bankruptcy court has approved the company to sell its subsidiaries, which would be LedgerX, Embed, FTX Japan, and FTX Europe. And according to court filings, apparently there are 117 parties that have expressed interest in these entities. In addition, with respect to FTX, apparently they have located about $5 billion in cash and liquid securities. Again, that is according to an attorney for FTX. And also what we're hearing as it relates to the bankruptcy hearings in Delaware, during the hearing, we are expecting to hear from the judge, and he's going to be weighing in on whether to make the names of FTX's 9 million customers public. We'll wait and see. Interestingly, again, just to kind of keep it going with respect to the FTX story, and there are so many pieces and parts to it, the former FTX founder, Sam Bankman-Fried, has published a pre-mortem overview describing his version of the events causing the collapse of FTX and Alameda. He has reiterated previous comments that Alameda never accessed margin through the use of customer accounts or customer funds. And he also believes that FTX could have been saved if it wasn't forced into bankruptcy. Meanwhile, separate from that, we have seen the SEC charge Genesis as well as Gemini. Gemini, of course, is the company that was founded by the Winklevoss twins, made famous through their dealings with Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg. So the SEC has charged both of these companies with securities laws violations. And according to the SEC, the unregistered offerings that Genesis and Genesis had and raised billions of US dollars in crypto was that it was from hundreds of thousands of investors. And the SEC is saying that this is actually a product. They're complaining that what they've created is actually a product and therefore a security. Interestingly, this comes as these two firms are very much in a public fight. And in fact, they have ended the partnership with respect to this product. But nonetheless, the SEC is charging both of them, saying that the product is a security. A lot of complications there for sure. Away from that, WonderFi, which trades on the TSX under the ticker WNDR, they have said that they have been in discussions about potential acquisitions and also potentially being acquired. That stock this week was halted, and when it did open up, it closed up quite significantly. It does trade at about 35 cents per share. Also, of course, as we think about the crypto winter, that continues to have an impact on many companies within the space. And a crypto exchange called Crypto.com has announced that they will be reducing their global workforce by about 20%. We're also, though, seeing aspects and products evolve within the space. Samsung Asset Management, their arm, is launching a Bitcoin futures-based ETF in Hong Kong. And they're also considering launching a spot-based Bitcoin ETF. We're also seeing money continue to move into the space, believe it or not. A crypto startup called CyberX just closed a 15 million Series A raise. Having said that, it is important to point out that crypto startup fundings has fallen to a 2-year low. This, of course, following FTX's collapse and a number of other companies that we've been reporting on that have also collapsed. Perhaps the VCs are just taking a little bit more time doing their due diligence. Lastly, I would point out A lot of the technology with respect to blockchain is still very relevant to many companies. And in Hong Kong, the next green bond that they will launch, which is apparently about $5.7 billion, will be tokenized on the blockchain. I'll leave it there, Nima. Back to you.
Thanks, Catherine. Again, that was Catherine Murray, host of the Buck Stops Here. Stay with us. We're going to be back shortly after the break.